Kapow! I'm with Silvio Silmac, and we're still here at the first day of the UK Martial Arts Show. Welcome to the show, Silvio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Now, what are you up to lately? I know you've been training, you're doing movies, and you're here at the show showing stuff and fight choreography. And what's the latest thing? Tell me about that.
To be honest with you, when people ask me what do you do for a living, I find it very difficult to define because I'm always bouncing between different jobs. Just recently, I was in Bahrain Formula One Grand Prix promoting an Avengers film.
Were you riding the car? Were you driving a car?
No, I wasn't. I wish I was, but it was a very impressive scene just to watch Formula One live. It's quite a different experience to watching it on telly, although you just see it for a few seconds and it's gone.
Yeah.
But it's extremely loud. So like I was saying, I bounce between different jobs. I write articles for magazines. I personal train people in a gym in central London. And I'm also off to China next Saturday doing a film with Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
His debut directing film, Man of Tai Chi.
Okay.
He's teamed up with choreographer from Matrix 1, 2 and 3, Yuen Wu-ping,
Fantastic.
to direct his own first film. So that should be exciting.
And
project.
what's your role in that one?
Well, obviously I play one of the fighters. It's a martial arts film. To be honest with you, I did not want to sound too keen to jump on board of the project, but having spoken to Keanu Reeves, for me it was just a great opportunity to get an experience to work with him, and also to work with Yuen Wu-ping once again. Yuen Wu-ping was famous for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and many of the Hollywood films, and this will be my third opportunity to work with him. And obviously, having to work with guys like this, I learn an awful lot. Even the days when I'm not required to be on film sets, I'm there watching and learning. Absolutely, absolutely. So looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Now, I first saw you when you were in the one with Undisputed, I think it was, with Scott Adkins.
Undisputed 2.
Undisputed 2.
That's
yeah,
right.
just saw you coming in there. Look, it's great to see you on film. How many movies have you made these?
I've done 17 films so far.
That's a lot, yeah. So how do you find time in your schedule? Because you obviously to maintain that fit body and that combative-wise and to be fight choreography and so forth. How do you maintain all that?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, my training has been a very important part of my life for the last 25 years. So I always make sure that's the center point of my life and everything has to fit around it. The only thing I have to say is when I'm traveling, when I'm on film set, I do find it something that's a bit difficult to incorporate into my schedule. But I always find time to train. In fact, I've been training twice a day for the last 2-3 years, 5 days a week.
And what's the real focus on in your training to maintain you to be operational?
Obviously, when I train, I always focus on the function, and there's something that Bruce Lee said. I know I'll probably appear and I come across as a bodybuilder, but all my training is functional training, standing upright, compound movements, so it enhances my health and improves also functionality of my muscle for performance in my field, in my sport, in martial arts. So in that sense, I do focus a lot of my training on functionality.
Yeah. Well, there has been a lot of talk about in the early days about bodybuilders can't move, but you're certainly an example of the opposite of that, saying that, well, it's what do you do that makes a difference? So you've got the size and mass, the power, the strength. How do you get the speed and the agility?
Well, obviously, I mean, within my training, I incorporate lots of plyometrics. Plyometrics are types of exercises which bridge the gap between strength and application. Yeah. So we're looking at short, fast twitch muscle fiber, which is being stimulated. But in terms of my size and building myself up, something I've realized very early on within my career is you have to make yourself very unique and different, because there's very, very tight competition out there. Yeah. And especially in entertainment industry, I think something like 95% of all actors are unemployed. Most of the jobs go to only 5%. 95% of jobs go to 5% of the guys. So I've really had to package myself in a very unique and different way. Yeah. And I think maybe for that reason, if they're looking for a big martial arts guy, whether it's in China or Hollywood, they think, okay, let's phone him up. And to be honest with you, I mean, most of the projects I've been working on in the last 10 years or so, I didn't even audition for it. I'd even Transporter 3, I had a call from production office from France. Could you come and work with us on this film with Jason Statham? Yeah. So that's probably the primary reason why I package myself in such a way. So Yeah.
Well, you're keeping busy, you're in demand that way, but you're still in the fight choreography. What part of that do you, I see you're teaching the kids at the expo here as well. Is that part of the thing that you do on a regular basis too?
I do fight choreography. I wish, and I would like to do more of it. With most of the big budget productions, I don't really get to choreograph much at all because they hire these big choreographers like Yun Woo Ping, Corey Yun, JJ Perry to do it. On most of the British productions, I've been lucky enough to have my own input and choreograph most of my fight scenes, which is quite exciting because I can be very creative in the way I do it, and it's a very exciting process.
And what he needs to do, when he makes contact and I block, to make you look powerful, boom, bounce it back up, boom, back. You don't put any power into it, but you make it look like it's powerful. And back. 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Training and the mind. What I want to talk about is the mindset. What sort of mindset do you have the discipline to apply all these sort of training regimes?
Well, obviously, I think like anything in life, you've got to have incredible focus and discipline to push yourself to those levels.
Where do you think you draw that from?
I'm a very stubborn person. I'm very stubborn, and also I'm very single-minded and very extreme in personality, which is not always a good thing because I can push myself to extremes. I'm either all or nothing. There's nothing in between. So there's 0 or 100 miles an hour. There's,
I say 0 to hero. There you go.
Nothing in between. But it's not always a good thing because as a martial artist, I always preach about balance, and yet I don't always apply that balance on myself. I throw myself off balance. But when I do,
with everybody, I think we do the best we can.
Yeah.
So what's in the pipeline next for you? I know you've got with Keanu Reeves coming up in the next couple of weeks, but what projects have you got that you're planning?
I'm currently negotiating 2 projects in US. Nothing's definite yet, but I've signed up to do 2 movies here in UK. One is Iron Monk, and one is The Law of One, which has been promoted at this event. So 2 movies end of this year, shooting here in UK. Hopefully in between I should be in States working on something, fingers crossed.
No, I saw you also sparring with Jet Li as well in one of the movies. What was it like sparring with Jet Li? That was also one of my, because he's one of my fans too.
I was very, very lucky and fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with him and learn from him. That was in a film Unleashed, which in some countries was called Danny the Dog. And I remember distinctly that the very first scene I had to do with Jet Li was flying sidekick to his back. And they put padding on his back, and he wasn't stand double, he actually did it himself. And Yun Woo Ping said, okay, I want you to run up, fly, jump up and kick him to the back, and this guy's half my size. And I was so afraid, thinking, God, I'm kicking this superstar, and you know, if something goes wrong, I'm going to get in big trouble. So I kept pulling my kicks back, and he wasn't looking very convincing. So I think Yun Woo Ping, the choreographer, he started getting a bit annoyed with me. He was like, "You've been drinking last night. What's wrong with you? Just kick him hard." So I did, and he was completely fine with it. It was completely fine for me to kick him. So that's how we started off. But got along with him really well. Yeah, it was nice to work with him.
Cool. Well, thanks, Silvio. Thanks for being on the show. I know you've got a lot of other commitments
you.
today.
Thank you.
And thanks again. And we're looking forward to seeing you on the big screen again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
And a big kapow to the shop. So.
Kapow!